In modern agriculture, harvest season is no longer just about gathering crops, it is also a true test of technological capability. According to statistics, global food production now exceeds 2.7 billion tons annually, far greater than it was just a few decades ago. Advanced machinery, rapid transportation systems, and smart storage technologies have reduced harvesting time by up to 40% while significantly cutting post-harvest losses, supporting a more efficient and sustainable agricultural industry. Our journey begins in Washington State, the apple capital of the United States, which produces more than 65% of the country's fresh apples. Across these vast orchards, technology has completely transformed the harvesting process. Massive shaking machines weighing up to 15 tons are specially designed to harvest apples with remarkable efficiency. The most common models use a hydraulic arm that grips the tree trunk and generates powerful vibrations, causing ripe apples to fall. Afterward, automated sweepers move between the rows of trees, gathering the apples into organized paths. Harvesting machines equipped with conveyor belts and flexible rubber fingers gently lift each apple and pass it through an air cleaning system that removes dust and dry leaves before placing the fruit into standardized bins, pallets. A single machine can process between 8 and 12 tons of apples per day, making it ideal for juice and jam production, although the fruit may suffer a higher rate of bruising. To meet the demands of premium markets, a newer generation of harvesters has been developed. Instead of allowing apples to fall to the ground, specially designed catching frames receive the fruit and transfer it directly into storage containers, preserving its appearance and meeting the strict quality standards of major supermarket chains. One of the most remarkable developments is the introduction of intelligent harvesting robots. Using cameras and artificial intelligence, these robots accurately identify the location of every ripe apple before gently picking each one with robotic arms. They can harvest thousands of apples every day, reducing dependence on the shrinking agricultural workforce, while helping the American apple industry meet both domestic and international demand without sacrificing product quality or economic value. As summer comes to an end, onion fields become active once again with the start of harvest season. Unlike many other crops, onions are not stored immediately after being harvested. Specialized machines lift them from the soil and arrange them in long, neat rows, where they remain exposed to sunlight and fresh air for 8 to 15 days. This curing process hardens the outer skin, improving durability and allowing onions to be stored for several months. Once curing is complete, collection machines begin their work. Rotating lifting teeth raise each onion onto a conveyor belt, where soft brushes and compressed air remove soil and loose outer skins. High-quality onions are transferred into large containers, mounted on trailers, while lower-grade onions are separated for industrial processing. Global onion production is expected to exceed 110 million tons, highlighting the importance of modern harvesting and storage technologies. Another remarkable machine may look like something from a science fiction movie, but it is actually a flame weeder designed to eliminate weeds using fire. This environmentally friendly alternative to chemical herbicides is mounted behind a tractor and powered by propane gas tanks that feed a series of burners. As the machine moves across the field, flames briefly pass over unwanted weeds, destroying their cells and causing them to wilt within seconds. The heat targets weeds without damaging the soil or nearby crops. This technology is particularly suitable for organic farming because it reduces chemical residues. However, it still has limitations. It consumes considerable amounts of fuel, becomes less efficient across fields covering hundreds of hectares, and requires constant supervision to minimize the risk of accidental fires. Carrot harvesting usually begins between August and October, when the roots reach their peak sweetness, crispness, and vibrant appearance. In countries such as the Netherlands, Germany, and Poland, farmers now rely heavily on specialized harvesting machines instead of manual labor. These advanced machines perform several operations simultaneously. They pull carrots from the soil, remove excess dirt, cut off the green tops, and carry out an initial size grading. As a result, productivity increases dramatically compared with traditional harvesting methods while minimizing crop damage. Viewed from above, thousands of bright orange carrots moving continuously along conveyor belts create a striking image of large-scale industrial agriculture. Thanks to these technologies, Europe produces more than 5 million tons of carrots every year, supplying both fresh markets and food processing industries while reinforcing its position as one of the world's leading agricultural regions. Meanwhile, high-powered tractors have opened a new chapter in modern farming. Equipped with long, heavy steel plows, these machines can cultivate soil to depths of 50 to 60 centimeters, breaking apart compacted layers that restrict root development rather than simply turning over the surface. After deep plowing, fields are left with long, well-aerated furrows that improve rainwater absorption, reduce surface runoff, and enhance moisture retention. Across Europe and the United States, deep tillage is widely used before planting cereals and industrial crops. It allows hundreds of hectares to be prepared in a relatively short period while significantly reducing labor requirements compared to conventional methods. In contrast, shallow plows remain among the most commonly used agricultural implements. Instead of breaking deep, compacted layers, they operate at depths of 15 to 20 centimeters, which corresponds to the zone where seeds are planted. During cultivation, these plows not only loosen the soil, but also mix crop residues such as straw, dried leaves, and green manure into the earth, creating a nutrient-rich organic layer. They also help control weeds and reduce certain pests, preparing fields for the next growing season. Finally, vast American farmlands often feature enormous green circles surrounded by dry landscapes. These distinctive patterns are created by center pivot irrigation systems. Each system consists of a pipeline that can exceed 300 meters in length, supported by wheeled towers that rotate around a fixed central point like the hands of a giant clock. As the system rotates, evenly spaced sprinklers distribute water uniformly across the entire field, forming perfect circles visible even from satellites. A single center pivot system can irrigate between 70 and 150 hectares, replacing the work of dozens of laborers. The latest models are equipped with soil moisture sensors, GPS technology, and remote smartphone controls, enabling farmers to reduce water consumption by approximately 30% compared with older irrigation systems. Thanks to these advanced technologies, vast desert regions in Texas and Colorado have been transformed into fertile farmland producing corn, peanuts, and wheat reinforcing the United States' position as one of the world's leading agricultural powers. Peanut harvesting takes place in two main stages. First, specialized machines use underground blades to cut the roots and lift the entire plant from the soil, exposing the peanut pods that develop beneath the ground. The plants are then left in the field for several days to dry under the sun and fresh air, allowing the peanuts to mature and strengthen. Once the drying process is complete, combine harvesters begin their work. The plants move along conveyor belts, where the peanuts are separated from the stems. Powerful streams of air remove soil and other debris before the high-quality peanuts are collected into storage tanks. Meanwhile, the remaining stems and leaves are returned to the field as green fertilizer. Thanks to modern mechanization, a single harvesting machine can process 7 to 8 tons per hour, greatly increasing productivity. Global peanut production reached approximately 52 million tons in 2024, and it is expected to exceed 55 million tons in the coming years, reflecting the continued expansion of peanut cultivation and ongoing improvements in harvesting technology. Next, we turn to one of the world's favorite crops, sweet corn. This fast-growing crop has an extremely short harvest window. Once the ears reach the milk stage, they must be harvested immediately, as delaying the harvest by even a single day can reduce their sweetness by nearly half. In the fields, massive harvesting machines operate like mobile production lines. A hydraulic system firmly holds each stalk, while precision blades cut it cleanly. The golden ears are then transferred to rotating rollers that strip away the husks before sending them onto conveyor belts. Within seconds, every ear completes the entire harvesting process, and within minutes, refrigerated trailers are filled with freshly harvested sweet corn. The United States cultivates approximately 360,000 acres of sweet corn each year, yet more than 85% of the harvest is delivered directly to food processing plants rather than sold fresh in markets. Technology extends far beyond farming itself. In the United States, helicopters are widely used for forest management and infrastructure maintenance. In states with extensive forests and power lines crossing mountainous terrain, such as North Carolina, Georgia, Oregon, and California, helicopter tree trimming has become a common practice. Instead of sending dozens of workers into hazardous conditions, a single helicopter can clear kilometers of vegetation within just a few hours. The cutting system consists of 8 to 10 large circular saw blades suspended beneath the helicopter by a reinforced steel cable. During operation, the pilot must maintain an extremely precise altitude to remove branches growing close to power lines, ensuring the safety of the electrical grid while reducing the risk of wildfires. Although this is considered one of the most dangerous aviation operations in the United States, where a sudden gust of wind or a small piloting error can lead to a serious accident, it has proven highly effective at saving both time and labor, becoming a symbol of modern forest management. Modern tree pruning machines also play a vital role in orchards and forestry plantations. Whether working in vineyards, orange groves, or Christmas tree farms, these machines are equipped with hydraulic arms extending more than 7 meters, fitted with high-speed circular saws capable of cutting thick branches with ease. As they move through the rows, they remove excess branches evenly, improving airflow and maintaining a balanced tree canopy. Adjustable control systems allow operators to modify the cutting angle according to the specific crop. Tasks that once required dozens of workers, ladders, and hand tools over several days can now be completed by a single machine in less than 1 day, covering dozens of hectares. In some regions, such as Oregon, these machines are equipped with circular cutting heads that completely surround each tree, trimming it evenly from every angle. This gives pine trees the perfectly symmetrical cone shape that is highly desirable during the Christmas season. Do you enjoy eating bananas? We only need a few seconds to enjoy their sweet flavor and soft texture, yet farmers spend an entire year cultivating and protecting them from pests and diseases. Today, we'll follow the journey of this remarkable fruit from the plantation to your table. Bananas are grown primarily in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, covering more than 6 million hectares of agricultural land worldwide. Annual production exceeds 120 million tons. Ecuador and the Philippines are among the world's largest banana exporters, while India and China are the leading consumers. Besides being rich in essential nutrients, bananas are also an important economic crop that has improved the livelihoods of millions of farmers. Producing uniform, high-quality banana bunches begins with careful soil preparation. Farmers select loose, well-drained land before plowing and disinfecting it to eliminate disease-causing organisms, creating an ideal environment for young plants. Banana seedlings are planted at depths ranging from 5 to 35 centimeters, ensuring strong root establishment and preventing the plants from toppling once each bunch reaches a weight of 30 to 50 kilograms. A spacing of 2 to 3 meters is maintained between plants, so that each one receives sufficient sunlight and nutrients. Modern banana plantations rely on drip irrigation or precision sprinkler systems, which reduce water consumption by approximately 40% compared to traditional irrigation methods, while increasing yields by as much as 20%. During the first 6 months of growth, the plant focuses on developing its pseudostem, leaves, and root system. Between the 7th and 9th months, the flowering stage begins and banana bunches start to form. At this stage, farmers carefully remove excess buds and flowers to ensure that each bunch develops evenly and reaches the highest possible quality. Starting from the 10th month, banana fruits begin to fill out and increase in size. To protect them, farmers cover the bunches with perforated plastic bags, which shield the fruit from pests while improving the color and appearance of the peel. Smaller bananas are also removed so the plant can concentrate its nutrients on the strongest fruits, increasing their commercial quality. Despite these precautions, bananas remain vulnerable to many diseases in hot and humid climates. Fusarium wilt, commonly known as Panama disease, along with yellow sigatoka, are among the most destructive diseases, capable of reducing yields by 40% to 50%. Insects such as thrips, aphids, and red spider mites can also damage fruit quality. To combat these threats, farmers keep plantations clean by removing weeds and infected leaves, while applying appropriate fungicides. On large commercial farms, drones are increasingly used to spray pesticides quickly and efficiently, covering large areas while reducing workers' exposure to chemicals. The growing cycle varies depending on the variety. The popular dwarf Cavendish banana typically requires 11 to 14 months from planting to harvest. Each banana plant produces fruit only once. After harvesting, the main pseudostem is cut down, allowing new side shoots to continue the production cycle. During the final stage of development, the fruit gradually changes from dark green to light green, the leaf stalks begin to wither, and the flower bud eventually falls away. These are clear signs that the bunch is ready for harvest. However, farmers do not wait until the bananas turn yellow. Instead, they harvest them while they are still green, so the fruit can ripen evenly during storage and transportation to distant markets. Harvesting requires at least 2 workers. One cuts the heavy bunch with a sharp knife while the other supports its weight, which can range between 30 and 50 kilograms. To prevent injuries, many workers place thick cloth or padded cushions on their shoulders. An experienced worker can harvest 400 to 500 bunches per day. After cutting, the bunches are transported to collection centers, where they are suspended from overhead cable transportation systems that move them easily from the plantation to the processing area. To prevent bruising during transport, workers place paper or foam padding between sections of each bunch. Each cable system can transport 80 to 100 banana bunches per trip, saving both time and labor. The bananas then enter the preparation stage. Large bunches are divided into smaller clusters and carefully washed in tanks containing disinfected water. This process removes the milky sap, dirt, and harmful microorganisms. On average, producing 1 kilogram of market-ready bananas requires between 400 and 600 liters of water, including irrigation, washing, and all production stages, highlighting the importance of responsible water management. After washing, the bananas are carefully graded. Only fruit that meets strict standards for shape, curvature, and size is selected before being packed into ventilated cardboard boxes ready for export. Europe, Japan, and the United States are among the largest importers of bananas. An interesting fact is that a banana plant bears fruit only once during its lifetime. After harvest, the mother plant is cut down, allowing new suckers to grow and begin another production cycle. The harvested stem is not wasted. It is recycled into organic fertilizer, biogas production, or livestock feed for cattle and pigs. This approach minimizes waste and supports a more sustainable agricultural system. Bananas are not only enjoyed as fresh fruit, but are also used to produce a wide variety of food products. One of the most popular is crispy banana chips. In processing plants, dozens of tons of fresh bananas are purchased directly from local farmers every day. Workers peel the fruit and slice it into thin pieces, approximately 3 to 4 millimeters thick, to ensure even frying. The slices are then immersed in hot oil, heated to 170, 180 degrees Celsius, 338, 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and fried for 2 to 3 minutes until they become golden brown and crispy. During frying, workers or automated mixing systems continuously stir the slices to ensure even cooking without burning. After frying, the chips are cooled and excess oil is removed. Some modern factories use highly efficient centrifugal dryers capable of removing approximately 90% of the remaining oil, producing lighter, crispier chips with a longer shelf life. The chips are then seasoned with flavors such as salt, sugar, honey, or cheese powder before being packaged in vacuum-sealed bags or specialized retail packaging. A medium-sized factory can process several tons of fresh bananas every day to produce banana chips and meet growing demand in both domestic and international markets. According to industry statistics, global banana chip production exceeded 2,000 tons in 2024, representing significant growth compared with 5 years earlier, driven by increasing consumer demand for convenient snack foods. This industry not only increases the economic value of bananas, but also helps farmers market their harvests while reducing seasonal surpluses. The value of bananas extends beyond the fruit itself. Banana fiber has become an increasingly important natural material thanks to its attractive appearance, durability, and ability to maintain its shape. Fiber production begins after harvesting the mother plant's stem. The outer layer is removed before the stem is crushed to extract the inner fibers. These fibers are soaked in water to loosen the cellular structure, making separation easier. They are then washed several times, dried in the sun, combed, cleaned of impurities, and finally spun into fine threads for textile production. Fabric made from banana fiber has a soft texture and excellent breathability. It is used to manufacture bags, carpets, hats, and traditional clothing. The fibers can also be blended with cotton or silk to create premium quality fabrics. Research indicates that banana fiber has a tensile strength ranging from 9,500 to 10,500 newtons per square centimeter, making it comparable to hemp fiber. An additional advantage is that banana fiber is naturally biodegradable within just a few months, making it far more environmentally friendly than many synthetic fibers. However, cost remains the industry's biggest challenge. Because of the extensive manual labor and lengthy processing involved, banana fiber fabrics typically cost 2 to 3 times more than conventional cotton fabrics. As a result, they are mainly found in sustainable fashion markets and high-end handcrafted products. Nevertheless, demand is expected to continue growing as consumers increasingly seek environmentally friendly materials that reduce plastic waste and promote sustainable textile manufacturing. Ultimately, bananas are far more than an everyday fruit. They represent a remarkable source of innovation in both agriculture and industry. From fresh banana bunches come a wide range of value-added products, including banana chips, banana flour, and environmentally friendly textile fibers. Every stage of this journey demonstrates the effort, technology, and creativity required to transform a simple crop into an important economic resource that supports sustainable development. Did you know that Mexico is famous not only for its deserts, cacti, and arid landscapes, but also as one of the largest agricultural powers in Latin America? Every year, the country exports agricultural products worth tens of billions of dollars to markets around the world. Stretching across vast areas, Mexico's farmland includes enormous cornfields, extensive pepper plantations, and large-scale farms producing strawberries, avocados, and coffee. Thanks to this tremendous agricultural output, Mexico helps supply food to millions of people around the world. What makes this even more remarkable is that much of this farmland is located in hot, arid regions that suffer from water shortages and prolonged droughts. Yet year after year, Mexico continues to produce enormous quantities of food through drought-tolerant crops and generations of farming expertise. So how does this agricultural giant operate? That's exactly what we'll discover in today's video. We begin with one of the most extraordinary crops found in Mexico's dry regions, a tree that appears to grow in lifeless desert soil, yet serves as an important source of food for both people and livestock, the mesquite tree. Every summer, as temperatures soar across the semi-arid regions of northern Mexico, the landscape appears completely dry. Yet amid these harsh conditions, mesquite trees remain covered in green leaves and loaded with creamy-colored seed pods that have a naturally sweet flavor. During harvest season, local residents shake the branches or use specialized harvesting equipment to collect tons of pods that have fallen to the ground. The pods are then dried and ground into a protein-rich flour used in bread, beverages, and animal feed. Even more impressive, once mature, the mesquite tree requires very little maintenance and can survive for decades under severe drought conditions. For this reason, many Mexican farmers refer to it as the tree of survival in the desert. Next, we move to a fruit that is familiar around the world, the pomegranate. During late summer, as high temperatures continue across central Mexico and semi-arid regions of Chile and Argentina, pomegranate trees become covered with hundreds of bright red fruits that completely fill their branches. Remarkably, many of these orchards are more than 40 years old, yet they continue to produce abundant harvests year after year. A fully mature pomegranate tree can yield between 80 and more than 120 kilograms of fruit annually. In Mexico's major growing regions, production can exceed 20 to 30 tons per hectare under favorable irrigation conditions. Fruit that meets export standards is transported to modern packing facilities before being shipped to the United States, Canada, and several European markets. The remaining harvest is processed into juices, molasses, jams, and dried fruit. Once established, pomegranate orchards require relatively little water while maintaining stable production for decades. This resilience has made pomegranates one of the fastest-growing fruit crops in the semi-arid agricultural regions of Mexico and South America. If we're talking about plants capable of surviving extreme drought while producing large quantities of food under difficult conditions, the prickly pear cactus, known locally as nopal, is an outstanding example. Across Mexico's hot, dry landscapes, where most crops struggle to survive, vast nopal plantations stretch toward the horizon, covered with thick, green pads. Harvesting usually begins early in the morning to avoid the intense midday heat. Workers use long knives or specialized tongs to cut the young, tender pads known as nopalitos. This work requires both speed and experience because the tiny spines on the surface can easily become embedded in the skin. After harvest, the nopal pads are transported directly to processing facilities, where the spines are removed either by rotating machines or through manual cleaning. The cleaned pads are then packaged and shipped to markets and food processing plants. In many of Mexico's major production regions, a mature hectare of nopal can produce 40 to more than 80 tons of green pads every year. Our next crop has been cultivated by humans for thousands of years and remains widely grown in hot, dry climates, the fig. As summer comes to an end, fig trees become loaded with hundreds of ripe fruits ranging in color from deep purple to pale yellow. Because figs ripen very quickly under high temperatures, harvesting continues continuously for several weeks. A mature fig tree can produce dozens of kilograms of fruit, with some yielding more than 100 kilograms during a single season. However, fresh figs are extremely delicate and cannot be stored for long. As a result, a large portion of the crop is dried immediately after harvest. The whole fruits are spread beneath the hot sun for several days, allowing them to lose much of their moisture while their natural sweetness becomes significantly more concentrated. The result is dried figs, which are much easier to store and transport while retaining their nutritional value for extended periods. Another popular summer fruit grown in some of Mexico's warm, dry regions is the mulberry. From late spring through early summer, the trees become covered with clusters of fruit that gradually change color from bright red to deep purple until they appear almost glossy black. This marks the busiest harvest season of the year. Because mulberries are extremely delicate and release their juice easily when fully ripe, much of the harvest is still picked by hand during the cool early morning hours to preserve fruit quality. Workers gently run their hands along the branches, allowing only the ripe berries to fall into trays placed beneath the trees, minimizing damage during harvest. A single mulberry tree can produce dozens of kilograms of fruit each season, while large commercial orchards harvest several tons every day during peak production. Immediately after harvesting, the fruit is rushed to processing facilities to produce juices, jams, molasses, and dried products, since fresh mulberries have a relatively short shelf life in warm weather. Mulberries are not the only berry crop with significant economic value in Mexico. Another major agricultural success is the red raspberry. In Mexico's cooler highland regions, vast raspberry fields begin harvesting from late spring through midsummer. During the peak harvest season, Workers begin their day before temperatures rise. Daily wages vary depending on the region and the quantity of fruit each worker harvests. Moving carefully through the rows, workers pick only berries that have reached perfect ripeness. Each raspberry is gently placed into small retail containers to protect it from damage during transportation and storage. One of the most remarkable facts about this industry is that Mexico is now among the world's leading exporters of red raspberries. Current estimates indicate that national production in 2025 will remain between 190,000 and more than 210,000 tons, with the majority exported to international markets, particularly the United States and Canada. Next, we arrive at Mexico's vast strawberry fields. In major agricultural states such as Michoacán and Baja California, thousands of hectares are cultivated using modern drip irrigation systems and plastic mulch, both of which help improve productivity. Because of the enormous size of the harvest, strawberry season requires hundreds of workers who begin picking at sunrise to avoid the damaging effects of high temperatures on the delicate fruit. Along seemingly endless rows, workers carefully select only the evenly ripened bright red strawberries and place them directly into retail containers to minimize bruising and damage. Once harvested, the packages are quickly transported to cooling and packing facilities before being loaded onto refrigerated trucks bound for the United States and Canada, often within just a few hours, ensuring maximum freshness and quality. Our next crop has become increasingly important in Mexico's warm, dry agricultural regions, roselle, also known as hibiscus. Across fields covered with brilliant red flowers, harvesting begins when the fleshy calices reach their fullest size and deepest color. Since these calices are the part used to produce beverages and food products, workers harvest them with great care to prevent damage. During peak season, large farms can harvest dozens of tons of hibiscus flowers every day. Next, we come to one of Mexico's most iconic crops, the agave. Unlike many crops that can be harvested within a few months, agave requires 6 to 8 years to reach full maturity. When harvest time arrives, highly skilled workers, known as jimadores, begin their work. These specialists have mastered the traditional techniques of harvesting and processing agave, skills that have been passed down through generations. Harvesting is carried out in several stages rather than with a single machine. Workers first use a specialized tool with a large circular blade to remove the tough, spiny leaves surrounding the plant. Afterward, they separate the plant's central core known as the piña from the soil. A mature agave piña can weigh anywhere from 20 to more than 80 kilograms, making the work physically demanding and requiring considerable skill. Once harvested, the agave hearts are loaded directly onto trucks and transported to processing facilities, where they are cooked and crushed to extract their natural sugars, the key ingredient used in producing some of Mexico's most famous traditional beverages. Mexico's agriculture is not limited to export fruits. The country also cultivates vast areas of white corn, one of the most important raw materials used to produce tortillas and many other traditional Mexican foods. When harvest season begins, enormous combine harvesters operate continuously across fields stretching over hundreds of hectares. Using wide cutting platforms, each machine harvests multiple rows of corn simultaneously before feeding the plants into an internal threshing system. Rotating cylinders continuously separate the kernels from the cobs while chopping the stalks and leaves, which are either returned to the fields or used as livestock feed. The cleaned grain is stored directly in large onboard grain tanks before being transferred into transport trucks. Thanks to this high level of mechanization, many Mexican farms can harvest dozens of hectares per day, using only a small workforce compared with the labor-intensive harvesting methods of the past. Current estimates indicate that Mexico's white corn production in 2025 will remain above 23 million tons, meeting the demands of the food industry, livestock sector, and strong domestic consumption. During the 2025-2026 agricultural season, Mexico also continues to maintain high levels of red chili pepper production to supply the growing spice and processed food industries. Unlike many crops that rely heavily on machinery, red peppers grown for drying are still harvested largely by hand. A single worker can collect dozens of kilograms of peppers each day, often under temperatures exceeding 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. After harvesting, the peppers are spread across large concrete drying yards or wide outdoor drying sheets, where they begin the natural drying process under the hot sun. Mexico's warm, dry climate rapidly reduces the pepper's moisture content within just a few days. Throughout this period, workers continuously turn the peppers by hand to ensure, even drying, preserve their rich red color and prevent mold growth. Once the peppers reach the desired level of dryness, they are packed into large sacks and transported to processing plants, where they are used to produce a wide variety of spices and food products. Finally, we arrive at what is currently Mexico's most valuable agricultural sector, the avocado industry. In states such as Michoacán, millions of avocado trees blanket the mountain slopes, making the region one of the world's largest avocado-producing areas. As harvest season begins, thousands of workers start before sunrise, carefully picking only fruit that has reached the proper size and maturity. Workers use long harvesting poles fitted with mesh collection bags to gently remove avocados from high branches before lowering them carefully into large containers to prevent bruising. A mature avocado tree can produce hundreds of kilograms of fruit during a single season, while large commercial orchards harvest dozens of tons every day during peak production. Current estimates indicate that Mexico's avocado production in 2025 continues to exceed 2.5 million tons, with the majority exported to the United States, Canada, and Europe. After harvesting, the fruit is rapidly transported to grading, cleaning, and packing facilities, before being loaded into refrigerated trucks for shipment to international markets, preserving its quality until it reaches consumers. As our journey comes to an end, it becomes clear how Mexico has successfully transformed vast areas of hot, dry land into major centers of food production through the dedication of its farmers, continuous hard work, and modern agricultural technologies. Now we'd like to hear from you. Which crop featured in today's video did you find the most fascinating? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories about modern agriculture and large-scale harvesting technologies from around the world.